Hey guys, this is Clay Shidler with Hang'em High Sport Fishing and Jarrod Roderick here with Young Boats. We're up here at Young Boats this morning and we're checking out the new SaltRiver 23. This is a new boat that we're going to have at Fort Lauderdale 2024, and we're about 4 days away from the start of the show, but we are getting the boat ready to go and we wanted you guys to get a chance to see it. We're going to walk through the boat, talk about it a little bit, talk about the hull design and why we chose to build a boat like this for Crystal River. So up here at the bow we have a lot of room, and that's kind of what we wanted. We built a 23-foot boat that's just over 8 feet wide, but we really wanted it to fish like a bigger boat. The boat is kind of set up for charter fishing just because that's what I'm going to do with it. We've got a large front deck. You see me and Jarrod are up here. We got plenty of room for a third person up here. We also have large storage in the front deck. Take a look right here in this hatch. You can see that we've got lots and lots of storage space. We could put 6 or 8 life jackets in there, backpacks, bags, and it goes all the way in here to the center underneath the deck, but it is divided. Jarrod can tell you a little bit, but there's also an option for a front live well in the front deck.
Absolutely. So, nice thing about us is we can really customize it to your needs. So we have the also option to have another 15-gallon live well up here that's supplied all the way from the outside, as well as it's insulated too. So if you want to use it for a fish box, or any other needs, a little drink cooler, you can do that as well.
As far as accessories on the front deck go, we have our Emperor chair built by Black Tip Fabrication. I have 3 of these now, and we're going to be putting them on most of our inshore boats. They're phenomenal little seats. They're kind of the perfect height for sitting on the front deck, especially if you've got if I've got older customers on the boat, stuff like that, kids actually really love to sit on them. It's got a rod holder and a cup holder. They're super handy, and it's a great addition to the front deck, as well as our power pole move trolling motor, which is the quietest and definitely been one of the most reliable trolling motors I've ever used. We're super happy with them. Moving back to the helm station, you can see we have a front cooler seat. We're working on getting the cushions finished up for this Yeti 75, but we're going to be able to sit 2 people up here, and we're going to be using that as our drink cooler. And then, of course, we're going to have a nice cushion backrest right here coming off the front of the helm stand. This boat, we really want to make sure we keep the center of gravity in the middle of the boat. If you've seen some of our Gulf Shore 24s and 22s, you'll see they're set up on the stern. And with a monohull bay boat, that's a really great option. It carries the weight well. But this being more of a catamaran style boat, we really wanted to keep the weight in the center of the boat. We've got seating for 6 people on the center pod, and 2 in the front, 2 behind the helm, and 2 in the back on a rear-facing seat that you're going to see in just a second. But this boat, we have the integrated 12-inch Simrad screen. We'll show you the helm box here in just a second, but Young Boats does a phenomenal job of rigging these out and really making an ergonomical setup so that everything is well placed, but it's also compact. You're not using a lot of space for everything that you have on the boat. And Jarrod works with every person that comes to build a boat, and they set up your helm box. They set up the height. This boat, height for the helm box and the height for the leaning post is set up for me. I'm 6'1", so that's kind of a really handy thing. We've got customers that are building boats that are 6'6" and guys that are 5'8", so they're gonna set your boat up for you.
Being your console, you don't want to be able to have control of everything and still be able to see the height and visibility all the way around you. So right here, we're sitting 18 inches off of deck level, and then we got 2 very comfortable flip bolster seats that allows you to sit and stand and feel very safe and secure. And then you've got, your tilt helm that allows you to be able to adjust it how you need to. Your 12-inch Simrad, so you've got your side scan, your traditional sonar, as well as be able to run your Florida Marine tracks and any other charting you need necessary. Central located, so you got your keys, your stereo, your power pole move remote, which allows you to run your power poles on the transom as well. Switch panel, and then all your Suzuki throttle and gauges. Keeps everything nice and compact, but everything's easily accessible. All right, moving down to the bottom of the console. So we got our Simrad RS40 in a fiberglass enclosed box with your VHF mic easily accessible on the side. Inside the console, we've got all the rigging. We keep everything up nice and neat and tight to allow you to be able to use this for storage and not be able to mess with any of the wires. Your battery switch is in here, so it's easy to turn on and off. And then you got centrally located fuse panel to make everything easy to get to. On the bottom rigging side, we have all your batteries and pumps are all centrally located. What we do this for is keeps everything out of the bilge, because as we know, the bilge is always a wet compartment and is always, prone to corrosion. So we keep all the batteries in here. We got the power pole pumps, the Optimus hydraulic pump, fuel water separator, and charge all in here. Makes everything easy access, as well as keeps it, in a good dry compartment.
One thing we did on this boat that's really going to be kind of a standard feature for Young Boats moving forward, and we really, really like them, is our recessed speakers. So Young Boats is using recessed speaker compartments so that all the speakers are set inside. You're not walking down the side of the pod and you're hitting the speaker. They normally stick out about an inch if you don't recess them. It's been a really handy thing, and Young's done a really good job of integrating them into a lot of the boats here, a lot of the different models. But as you come back here toward the back of the pod, you're gonna see that we have a really nice rear-facing seat setup. But we're gonna have a backrest cushion and then a seat cushion for 2. And then this is a large live well. It holds about 35 gallons of water. It can also be used as a fish box, and it's insulated. So that's kind of one of those nice things. If you're not using live bait, you can put your fish in there. If you are using live bait, it's gonna hold your bait all day. We've got a Rule 1100 tournament pump running to it. So it does a great job, moves a lot of water, and will keep just about anything you need to keep alive. And something that we really like, because we do use a lot of live bait. But we also have the cup holders on the side just because it's a nice place to have one. And customers tend to really like that. That's kind of the whole setup on the seating. We saw the cooler up front with the backrest. We saw the 2 seats right there behind the helm for a captain and a passenger, and then 2 seats on the back. And like we talked about, we're really able to keep all the weight on the center of this boat so that it carries the weight really well and will run in less than 4 inches of water.
Correct.
And that's a big part of what we wanted this boat to do. As we get back to the transom, you're gonna see this is where, of course, everything related to the engine is. So we've got our Suzuki 250 SS in the new Stealth line, matte black. It's a really cool looking motor to go with all the black on this boat. But we've got a Bob's jack plate. And then we went ahead and went with Dometic Optimus electronic over hydraulic steering. It's a little bit overkill for this boat, but at the same time, when you're running a big bite prop, which is what we're gonna be running, jacked up high, we're able to never have to worry about any sort of steering torque or the steering ever fighting against you. You can turn it wherever you want, however you want, at any speed, and you don't have to worry about any sort of, fight coming back into that wheel with that electronic over hydraulic system. And then of course we have 2 nice little handy storage lockers, which also act as bilge access in the back of the boat. We're gonna show you next.
All right, accessing the rear storage and bilge. So nice thing is we've got a drop-in tub on each side that allows you to gain more storage for your tackle or any kind of miscellaneous gear that you need to have. And it allows you to have a nice, easy access into here. So being a cat hull, we've got a bilge pump on each side of the hull. And then you've got your live well with the 1-inch pickup with a graded screen on the bottom to eliminate all that grass getting in there, as well as a secondary inline screen to pick up any of the remaining grass that allows to go through. And then you've got your cartridge pump in here for your live well. Makes it easy for future maintenance and easy accessibility. Everything's nice and easy to get to from this hatch.
So after seeing the whole internal layout, you can kind of understand what we're going for with this boat, right? So we're trying to get all of the room that we can out of a boat that's 23 foot long, about 8.5 foot wide. And Young Boats has done a great job. This center pod design has been something that we've used in my Gulf Shore 26s, if you've seen those boats, and now we're using it in this boat. It really does a good job of keeping everything centrally located and gives us a lot of room around the boat. Whether you're fishing 3, 4, 5 people, in my instance, charter fishing, but a lot of people, this is gonna be a great family boat. And it's priced really economically in the grand scheme of things, isn't it, Jarrod?
Correct. We try to keep everything at a good, budget conscious setup. So, you're not spending an arm and leg to be able to go out there and enjoy the water, but you're still getting that full custom build that fits to your needs.
You can get one of these boats set up really well, very similar to how you see this boat set up, right around $90,000, give or take, depending on a couple of different options. There's several different motor options. There's several different trailer options. But if you're looking for a boat that's, fully customizable at the same time, can be a budget conscious boat, it's a lot of boat for the money. And that's the big part of the SaltRiver 23, and that's what we were going for here. Moving to the outside of the hull, you'll see that we've got a true catamaran style hull. And it's a compression tunnel. So what it is it's wider in the front and it's narrower in the back, meaning that it's gathering water from the front of the boat as it's moving back and lifting it up into the top of the tunnel for the engine, allowing us to run in really shallow water. We have 2 sponsons up front and we have a slight V going right down the center in the top of the tunnel, just so that we're able to, any waves that are hitting the top of the tunnel are gonna get broke by that little V in the top, reducing any sort of slap that you're gonna get and giving you the best ride possible. When we get to the back, you'll see where that tunnel comes down really nice and tight, and it funnels that water right up to that engine, allowing us to run in 3.5, 4 inches of water. On the power side of things, this Suzuki 250 SS, we're running a PowerTech OFX4 prop. You can see it right here. It does a really good job, has a lot of bite, has plenty of cup to grab that water and hold traction, especially when you're jacked up high in the tunnel. We've got a low water pickup system, and This cavitation plate that Young Boats has put together really does a great job of funneling that water up to the engine, making sure that the engine stays cool, and kind of really corralling the water so that you don't have a lot of blow by, whereas water is, you know, coming out of the tunnel and not going through the prop. And that's a big part of it, trying to maximize propulsion. Jarrod's going to tell you a little bit about the tunnel, and you'll be able to see it here in just a second, but it's pretty cool.
As Clay was mentioning with the tunnel, being a catamaran hull, we've got the nice pocket for the water to come all the way back. And we even have a slight rise as it comes to the transom to allow as much water flow as possible to the engine. The idea of this hull is to run as shallow as possible. So when that water exits the tunnel, it catches this custom cavitation plate and allows all that water to be feeded to the prop. You know, everything was designed for shallow water as possible. So with that being said, we've got a 0 dead rise on each pontoon of the transom. And we kept a nice simple hull design because running around Crystal River, we know there's a lot of rocks, a lot of oyster bars. So we made it where you've got no chines to be able to stick out and catch and grab any of the bottom. Nice, easy, slick bottom. It allows you to slide over the grass with ease.
So this boat's going to be running just after the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show. We're going to be doing sea trials starting November 10th, and you can definitely come and take a look at it. We got a lot of different options, a couple of different little tweaks we can do to the layout based upon whether you're going to be using the boat for, say, charter fishing or family use. But it's really going to be a great platform. It's going to do really well in the shallow water, and we're really planning on it doing well out to about 15 miles or so is kind of our plan. You know, the boat's going to run a 1 and 2 foot chop well, and it's going to be very efficient on fuel. It's got a lot of different options, and we think there's definitely a way to set it up for just about anybody that wants to go inshore fishing.